Hi everyone, I'm Xiao Jin from Susan's family. Today, I'll teach you the crocheting method for the Cancer from Baby Zodiac series. This toy is made with high quality yarn, featuring a cute and delicate shape. It can be used as a decoration or a hanging accessory, with versatile uses and a simple crocheting method. If you want to buy the original materials kit and get crocheting guidance, search for Susan's family shop to visit directly. Now let's get started. This toy consists of two parts, the main part and accessories. The main part includes legs, body, arms, head, and hat. Among them, legs, body, arms, and hat need to be crocheted. After completing, stuff and assemble the head at the corresponding position. Accessories include crab claws, crab legs, antennae, eyes, diving goggles, stars. Keyrings and patches. Complete the main part first, then attach accessories to each section. First, learn the crocheting method for the main part. Start with the hat crocheting method. Look at the chart. In the pattern chart, the rounds column is labeled as R plus number. The total stitches column shows the total stitch count after completing all stitches in that round. The increases and decreases explanation column describes the stitch techniques and increases, decreases needed for that round. This plushie uses X stitch single crochet throughout, which will be referred to as single crochet later. In the chart, stitch symbols X means single crochet, V means single crochet increase, along with chain and slip stitch. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. To make it easier to see, I'm using chunky yarn for demonstration with random colors. For specific yarn color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the pattern chart. The cast on in the chart is magic ring, indicating the casting on method is adjustable magic ring. First, let's do the adjustable magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand and wrap it around your left index finger twice. 1, 2, there are 3 strands of yarn above. Pinch the overlapping part of the loops with your right thumb and index finger, and take it out. Then wrap the yarn tail around your left little finger once. Pass through between the middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. The crochet hook moves between these 2 points. Insert the hook into the loop. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. Work a chain stitch to secure. Keep the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the loop. 1 chain stitch is completed. Everyone, this is how the magic ring looks when it's done. Now let's work the first round. R1 is 6x, meaning 6 single crochets in the magic ring loop. First, make a chain stitch as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This beginning chain isn't marked in the chart, but in actual crocheting, we need to work a beginning chain at the start of each round. Note, the beginning chain does not count as a stitch, and you can tighten it slightly. Next, work a single crochet in the magic ring loop. Insert into the large space. Position the hook above the yarn tail. Pull the yarn through. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Position the hook in front of the yarn tail, and wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw through both loops on the hook in one pass. 1 X stitch single crochet is completed. The V-shaped loop at the top right corresponds to the stitch, that is, this V shape formed by 2 strands. Each subsequent stitch will have a corresponding stitch. Place a stitch marker on this single crochet stitch to help locate the slip stitch position when finishing. If you don't have stitch markers, you can use safety pins or paper clips instead. This marker spot is the first stitch of the current round. Move on to the second stitch. Insert into the large space. Place the hook above the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Then position the hook in front of the yarn tail, and wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw through both loops on the hook in one pass. The second single crochet is completed. This round requires 6 single crochets total. Continue crocheting this way. Before pulling the yarn through, always place the hook above the yarn. 3, 4, 5, 6. After completing all, let's tighten the magic ring loop. There are 2 loops here. First, give a gentle tug on the yarn tail. You can see one loop is moving. Tighten the moving loop first. One loop remains. Pull the yarn tail tight. This way the loops are tightened. The stitch pattern corresponding to the chart is completed. Next, join with a slip stitch at the first single crochet stitch of the current round. That is, mark the stitch marker spot, and work a slip stitch. Insert the hook. The hook doesn't need to be above the yarn tail. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in once. The braid next to it is the slip stitch. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. In the actual crocheting process, each round ends with a slip stitch. Tighten the slip stitch well, otherwise you might accidentally add extra stitches in the next round. This round has 6 single crochets. The starting yarn tail can be left for now, and woven in while working the next round. This is what it looks like after completing the first round. Next, work the second round. R2 is 6V, meaning work a single crochet increase in each of the 6 stitches from the previous round, for a total of 6 increases. First, make a chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This stitch corresponds to the stitch below. The beginning chain does not count as a stitch. To make the join less noticeable, gently pull to tighten the turning chain. This entire round consists of single crochets. The notation, 2SC in the same stitch, means working 2 single crochets into one stitch. Work the first single crochet increase into the stitch corresponding to the turning chain. Insert the hook while crocheting. Place the starting yarn tail above the hook, and weave it in along the fabric's texture. One stitch. Insert into the same position again. 2 stitches. This completes one single crochet increase. Mark the first single crochet. Next, work a single crochet increase into the adjacent stitch on the left side. Insert through these 2 strands. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail while crocheting. 1 stitch, 2 stitches. The second single crochet increase is done. This round requires 6 single crochet increases. For the remaining 4, continue by working 2 single crochets into each stitch. After completing the last increase, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker. Pay attention, after each round, always join with a slip stitch to the first hook stitch. Insert the hook. Let's reiterate, when crocheting a slip stitch, the hook doesn't need to be above the yarn tail. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in one go. Tighten the slip stitch. Let's count the stitches. A V-shaped loop counts as one stitch. Count back from the last stitch to the slip stitch position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This round totals 12 stitches. The starting tail of the yarn can be cut off directly since it has already been secured for one round. Everyone, this is what it looks like after completing the second round. Next, crochet the third round. Our 3 is X, V, asterisk 6. The parentheses here indicate a group multiplied by 6, meaning repeat the pattern 6 times. The parentheses here indicate a group, asterisk 6, means repeat the pattern 6 times. Chain 1 as the turning chain. Tighten the beginning chain. The stitch under the turning chain corresponds to the stitch below. At the beginning of each subsequent round, chain 1 as the turning chain. The turning chain does not count as a stitch and needs to be tightened. I won't repeat this explanation anymore. Work a single crochet into the stitch under the turning chain. Mark the stitch. Next, work a single crochet increase into the adjacent stitch. One group of XV is completed. I'll demonstrate again. First, work a single crochet. Continue down, work a single crochet increase. This is the second time. This round requires repeating XV 6 times. For the remaining 4 times, continue down with one single crochet followed by one single crochet increase. Continue crocheting them all the way down. After completing the last increase, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position and pull tight. This round totals 18 stitches. The total stitches for each round are referenced in the corresponding chart. I won't repeat this explanation anymore. You can see the texture on the right side of the fabric is clearer. The texture on the wrong side is blurrier. When crocheting later, always keep the right side facing you. This completes the third round. Continue crocheting the fourth round. Our 4 is V 2x asterisk 6. Here 2x means working 2 single crochets in adjacent stitches, 1 single crochet in each stitch, also called working even. Start this round with 1 single crochet increase, then work 2 single crochets. Repeat this group 6 times. First work 1 single crochet increase. Mark the first stitch. When crocheting later, always mark the first stitch of each round. It's convenient to find the slip stitch position after completion. I won't repeat this explanation anymore. Next, work 2 single crochets evenly. 1, 2. This is the V2X crochet technique. Let me demonstrate again. First, work 1 single crochet increase. Then work 2 single crochets evenly. This is the second time. This round needs to be repeated 6 times in total. Continue with the remaining 4 repetitions using the same method. Finally, work a slip stitch at the stitch marker position. Pull tight. Everyone, this is what the 4th round looks like after completion. Next, work the 5th round. Our 5 is 3x V asterisk 6, meaning work 3 single crochets evenly first, then work 1 single crochet increase. Repeat 6 times. Work 3 single crochets first. Then work 1 single crochet increase. One 3x V is completed. This round needs to repeat 3x V 6 times total. Work the remaining 5 repetitions using the same method. Work 3 consecutive single crochets first. Then work 1 single crochet increase. Work all the way down to complete them. Join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker. Pull tight to finish. Everyone, this is what the 5th round looks like after completion. In the chart, R6 to R12 is 30x evenly, meaning from round 6 onwards, each round works 30 single crochets without increases or decreases, continuing until round 12 ends. I'll demonstrate the crocheting method for round 6. This round works single crochets evenly into each stitch. Work all the way down to complete them. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Pull tight. Since the edge of the fabric with even single crochets tends to curl slightly, we'll have the right side facing us. Fold the curled part backward. Look everyone. This is what the 6th round looks like after completion. From round 7 to round 12, work single crochets evenly into each stitch. The method is simple. Please refer to the chart and complete them on your own. While crocheting, remember to keep the right side facing out. I won't demonstrate this part. Next, I'll show you a way to count rounds. The fabric has raised textures as your guide. Each ring of texture indicates one completed round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 rounds total. You can determine the number of rounds using this method afterward. After finishing completely, try the hat on your forehead to check. Here I'll demonstrate the method using a sample. Align the back with the neck position. The outer edge of the hat should wrap around your ears. Because every iron's tension differs, the size of the crocheted piece will vary. If it covers too much, you can work one less round. If it doesn't cover your ears, add one more round. Adjust the number of rounds according to your actual situation. Finally, make a chain stitch to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave about 25 centimeters of yarn tail, and cut it off. Tighten. Now the hat is completed. Set it aside for later use. Next, learn the crocheting method for the legs. Refer to the chart. The legs are also crocheted in rounds using the adjustable magic ring method. The method is simple. You can crochet according to the pattern chart by yourself. Pay attention when crocheting. Because the number of stitches is small, the second round corresponds to single crochets, and after completion, the right side of the fabric faces out. Fold the curled part backward, then join with a slip stitch to finish. The following crocheting method is simple. Pay attention to keeping the right side facing out while crocheting. I won't continue demonstrating here. After completing everything, make a chain stitch to secure. Pull a large loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Everyone, this is what one leg looks like after completion. Crochet the other leg using the same method, and don't cut the yarn after finishing. I won't demonstrate this part. Everyone, this is what the second leg looks like after completion. After both legs are crocheted, stuff them with fiber fill. While stuffing, pay attention to not dropping the yarn loop on the leg that hasn't been fastened off. Stuff while adjusting the position with scissors. The stuffing must be firmly stuffed and even. Pay attention not to prick your hand with scissors. Now both legs are done. Next, learn the body crocheting method. Look at the chart. Continue crocheting in rounds upwards along both legs. In the pattern, CH stands for chain stitch. A stands for invisible decrease for single crochet. Next, watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The chart shows 4 CH to connect the two legs. This means crochet 4 chain stitches between the two legs to connect them. Then crochet the 6th round. Take the leg that hasn't been fastened off. Insert the hook into the previously left yarn loop. Slightly adjust the loop size. Crochet 4 chain stitches. Don't make these 4 stitches too tight. Keep them slightly loose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark the first and last stitches. Attach to the right side of the braid strand. After completing, insert the hook into the previously left yarn loop. Take the other leg. Insert into the first single crochet stitch, which is the position where the yarn tail was fastened off earlier. Work a slip stitch. Join them together. While crocheting, catch the yarn tail from the broken yarn. Pull tight the slip stitch. Now the two legs are connected. Continue crocheting the 6th round according to the chart. First complete all the single crochets corresponding to the left leg. Don't forget to chain 1 as the turning chain. Work 2 single crochets first. The first stitch goes into the insertion point of the previous slip stitch. Mark it. While crocheting, don't forget to weave in the ends. Two increases. Two single crochets. The stitch pattern for this leg is completed. Now at the chain space for joining, work single crochets on top. First insert into the adjacent chain stitch on the left side. Pick up both loops of the chain above and crochet, that is, the insertion point below the stitch marker. Work a single crochet inside. After completing, pick up both strands of the adjacent braid, and work a single crochet. This braid is less noticeable. Don't miss it. Continue to pick up both loops above the braid and work single crochets. After completing, finish the single crochets corresponding to the other leg. 2 single crochets. Don't miss the stitches corresponding to the chain. Two increases. Two single crochets. The single crochets for this leg are completed. Finally, work single crochets on the other side of the connecting chain. Pay attention to the insertion point here. Pick up this strand of the remaining braid to work. That is, below the insertion point for the single crochet. As you can see, the top and bottom single crochets are worked into the same space. After completing, join with a slip stitch at the marker spot. Finish. Pull tight. Everyone, this is what it looks like after completing round 6. The crocheting method for round 7 is similar to the previous rounds. The parentheses indicate a group. The number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. The number before X means how many single crochets to work. Pay attention. The increase, decrease positions must follow the increases and decreases explanation table. Do not adjust randomly. Rounds 8 through 12 are worked evenly, crocheting single crochets without increases or decreases. When crocheting, always keep the right side facing you. Refer to the chart and crochet to the corresponding rounds on your own. I won't demonstrate here. Everyone, this is what it looks like after completing round 12. When counting rounds, simply count upwards from one of the legs. After finishing round 12, at the position where the legs connect to the body, add a bit of stuffing to make it firm and even. Next, crochet round 13, R13, is 4 SC, SC2 tog, 4 SC, asterisk 3. A mean single crochet decrease. The stitch pattern for this round is, work 4 single crochets, then 1 single crochet decrease, followed by 4 single crochets. Repeat this group 3 times. First, work 4 single crochets. Don't forget to mark the first single crochet. After completing, work a single crochet decrease using the invisible decrease method. Take a look, one stitch consists of these 2 strands. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The strand closer to the outside is the back loop. Insert the hook into the front loop of the adjacent stitch. Then insert from front to back into the front loop of the second stitch. This part is tricky to adjust. Pay attention not to insert in the wrong position. There are 3 loops on the hook. Position the hook above the yarn tail. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remain. Yarn over and draw through in once. 1 single crochet decrease is completed. Crocheting this way creates smaller gaps between stitches, resulting in a more delicate and beautiful fabric texture. Continue crocheting down 4 single crochets. The first single crochet is worked into the corresponding stitch. Pay attention not to work in the wrong position. One group of 4x is completed. Continue with the second group. First work 4 single crochets. After completing, work a single crochet decrease. I'll demonstrate the invisible decrease method again. Insert the hook from front to back into the front loops of 2 adjacent stitches on the left side. Place the hook above the yarn. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. 2 loops remain. Yarn over and draw through in once. The single crochet decrease is finished. Continue with 4 single crochets. The second group is completed. 1 group remains in this round. Continue crocheting downward using the previous method. After completing all, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. End. Pull tight. Everyone, this is what it looks like after completing the 13th round. Continue with the 14th round. Our 1-4 is 7x, asterisk 3. This means work 7 single crochets, followed by 1 single crochet decrease, and repeat this group 3 times. Continue crocheting them down. Finally, finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The 14th round is completed. The crocheting method for rounds 15 to 19 is similar to the previous ones. I'll emphasize again, the position of increases must strictly follow the chart. Crochet according to the increases and decreases explanation. Do not adjust randomly. Work them according to the chart. I won't demonstrate here. After completing the 19th round, take out the doll head and stuff the neck into the body. Secure the last round of the body in the middle groove. Check the opening size. If the last round opening is too large for the fabric piece to hold, or too small for the neck to fit through, adjust your tension and rework the last 3 rounds. I'll demonstrate the yarn tail treatment method. Once completed, make a chain stitch to secure. Stretch the loop, leaving about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. Pull tight. Leave this yarn tail for now. Stuff fiber fill through this small hole. Adjust the position with the crochet hook while stuffing. Make it firmly stuffed and even. This is what the body looks like when completed. Next, crochet the arms. Refer to the chart. Both arms use the magic ring method to crochet in rounds, same as the legs. Work them according to the pattern, leaving about 25 centimeters of yarn tail at the end. I won't demonstrate here. After the arms are crocheted, stuff them with fiber fill about halfway. Then close this small hole and thread the reserved yarn tail into a darning needle. Insert the needle from front to back through the front loops of the last 6 stitches. Pull tight after completing. At the first and last stitch positions, secure multiple times. The yarn tail is still long, leave it for now. The small hole is closed. One arm is now complete. Fill the other one using the same method. Close the hole. I won't demonstrate here. Next, assemble all parts together, starting with attaching the body and hat. Use the whip stitch method to sew them together. The last round of the body has 15 single crochets. Connect the back 7 stitches to the hat, leaving 8 stitches unsewn. First, find the corresponding sewing position. Position the end joined side of the body towards yourself. Align and press flat the opening along the left and right side seams. Locate the front 8 stitches and place stitch markers on both sides. Between the two markers, including the stitches with markers, are the reserved stitches. Sew together the remaining 7 stitches. Thread the reserved yarn tail from the hat into a sewing needle. Insert the needle from front to back into the corresponding stitch on the body. Then exit from back to front through the corresponding stitch on the hat. Pull tight. Secure with an extra stitch in the same position. Next, insert from front to back into the adjacent stitch on the body. Exit from back to front through the adjacent stitch on the hat. Pull tight. Continue inserting from front to back into the next adjacent stitch on the body. Exit from back to front through the corresponding stitch on the hat. Repeat this process down to the stitch before the left side marker. Leave the yarn tail from the body for now. Place it at the back. Finally, secure with an extra stitch. Tie a simple knot with the yarn tail from breaking the body yarn. First weave it to the corresponding position, on the wrong side before tying. Remove the stitch marker. Hide the excess yarn tails inside the body. This secures the body and hat together. Next, attach the head. First, stuff fiber fill through the small hole, below the neck of the head. In reality, if it's not lying flat underneath, trim it if needed. Trim them flat. Adjust the position while stuffing. Fill the entire head with fiber fill. After completing, insert the neck into the body. The last round of the body fits into the groove in the middle of the neck. You can also apply glue at the neck position to attach the head to the fabric piece for extra security. Next, put on the hat. This completes the head assembly. Finally, secure the arms to the sides of the body at the fourth to last round. Approximately in line with the legs, with about 8 to 9 single crochets between the arms. When securing, place a stitch marker at the corresponding sewing position on the body. I've already marked it in advance. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the arm into the yarn needle. Align and press the front and back of the arm flat. Insert the needle into the corresponding adjacent stitches. Pull the yarn through. Locate the corresponding sewing position for the arm. Insert the needle into the corresponding stitch. Exit through the corresponding stitch on the other side. Pull the yarn tail through. Take the second arm. Similarly, align and press it flat front and back. The needle exits through the corresponding front and back stitches. Be mindful when threading. Check the arm position. Remove the stitch marker. Insert into the adjacent corresponding front and back stitches. Pass through the body. Exit on the other side. Pass through the previous arm, into the adjacent corresponding front and back stitches. Tighten the yarn tail. Sewing the arms this way allows them to rotate freely. Repeat this process once more to secure. Draw the yarn tail through to the wrong side of the body. The other yarn tail also exits through the wrong side of the body. Right next to the previously exited yarn tail. Tie several simple knots with the two yarn tails. Trim the excess. Hide the yarn tails inside the body. Here's what the two arms look like after being secured. Now the main part is complete. Next, let's learn how to make and attach the accessories. First, crochet the horns. This will be demonstrated using a chart. The horns are crocheted in rounds starting with a magic ring. Then crochet chains to connect them to the hat. The stitch symbols in the chart are labeled in the pattern. All other unstated stitches follow the same method as before. Watch my demonstration for details. First, cast on one adjustable magic ring, and work 6x stitch single crochets inside. I've already crocheted this part in advance and fastened off the yarn loop. Next, join with a slip stitch at the first stitch position. Complete. Pull tight. After finishing, crochet chains to connect with the hat. First, take a look at the finished product. The horns are attached to the middle position of the 5th round, from the bottom of the hat. There are approximately 4 single crochets between the 2 horns. Take the main part. Here I'll demonstrate the installation method using a sample. You can mark the corresponding installation position on the hat first. I've already marked it here. Crochet down 2 chain stitches. 1, 2. Release the loop on the hook. Insert the hook into the corresponding position. Exit through the adjacent stitch. Then insert into the loop that was left before. Draw the loop through. Slightly adjust the size of the loop. Secure with a chain stitch. The 2 fabric pieces are now connected. Next, crochet 2 slip stitches. Pick up the top strand of the chain to crochet. One chain forms a V-shaped loop like this. Pick up half of the V-shape, the top strand here. Start crocheting from the second to last chain. The connecting chain doesn't need to be crocheted. Slip stitches don't need to be tightened, just crochet normally. 1, 2. After completing, secure with a chain stitch. Stretch the loop. Leave about 10 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. Tighten. Thread the yarn tail through the needle. Insert into the first single crochet stitch, going through to the wrong side of the fabric. Thread the starting tail of the yarn through the needle together. Pick up the loop on the wrong side, weaving the tail to the bottom. Put on the hat. Bring one yarn tail out from an adjacent position. Find 2 yarn tails and tie a simple knot. Slightly tighten. Cut off the excess. One horn is completed and connected to the hat. Make the other horn using the identical method. I won't demonstrate it here. Next, crochet the crab claws, which are also demonstrated according to the pattern chart. Crochet in rounds using the magic ring method, with new stitches being double crochet and DC3 bobble. Other stitches not mentioned are crocheted the same as before. Watch my demonstration for the specific crocheting method. Round 1. Crochet 6x stitch single crochets, in rounds using the magic ring method. The method is simple, so I've already completed it ahead of time. Move on to round 2. First, work 2 single crochets. While working, weave in the starting tail of the yarn together. After completing, work 1 single crochet increase. Continue with 2 single crochets. One single crochet increase. Join with a slip stitch at the first stitch. Pull tight. Trim off the excess starting tail. Round 2 is completed. Now work round 3. Work a double crochet in the next stitch. That is this stitch. Leave the first stitch unworked for now. You can mark this stitch. The technique for double crochet is to yarn over once. Insert. The hook doesn't need to be above the yarn tail. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pull the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. With 2 loops remaining, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. 1 double crochet is completed. Next, work a DC3 bobble stitch in the same position. First, make 3 incomplete double crochets. The technique for an incomplete stitch is to yarn over once. Insert. The hook doesn't need to be above the yarn tail. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pull the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. 1 incomplete stitch is completed. Next, work the second stitch, yarn over once. Insert. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. The second incomplete stitch is completed. Continue to crochet the third stitch. There are 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and draw through in once. A DC3 bobble stitch is finished. Next, make a chain as a transition. Crochet a bobble stitch in the adjacent stitch. First, work 3 incomplete double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and draw through in once. The second bobble stitch is completed. Crochet a double crochet in the same position. Yarn over once. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, repeat twice. 1, 2. The double crochet is completed. Make a slip stitch in each of the 2 adjacent stitches. Slip stitches don't need to be tightened, just crocheted normally. 1, 2. Continue to crochet a double crochet in the next stitch. A bobble stitch. After completing, make a chain transition. Crochet a bobble stitch on the left stitch. A double crochet. One stitch remains on the left, make a slip stitch in it. Finally, make a slip stitch at the stitch marker spot. Similarly, this slip stitch doesn't need to be tightened. Next, make a chain stitch to secure. Pull up the loop. Leave a yarn tail about 30 centimeters long. Pull tight. The third round is completed. Next, thread the reserved yarn tail through the yarn needle. Fold the fabric piece flat by aligning the puff stitches front and back. Sew the middle position where it's folded. First, sew the insertion points of the front and back slip stitches. Insert the needle into the insertion point of this last slip stitch. Then go through to the insertion point of the slip stitch on the right side behind. Tighten the tail. Insert into the adjacent stitch, come out through the corresponding stitch behind. Pull tight. Next, sew the braids of the corresponding front and back slip stitches. During actual sewing, the exact position isn't critical. As long as the fabric pieces are connected in the middle, it's fine. After sewing, bring the needle out through any stitch of the first round. The yarn tail is still long, so leave it for now. This completes one crab claw. Make another one using the same method. I won't demonstrate it here. Next, attach the crab claw to the arm. Continue sewing with the reserved yarn tail. Sew the first round of the crab claw to the first round of the arm. Insert the needle into any stitch of the arm's first round. Come out through the stitch below. Pass through the 2 corresponding stitches of the crab claw. Tighten the yarn tail. After completing, insert into the previous insertion position on the arm. Come out through the corresponding stitch. Pass through the previous insertion position of the crab claw. Come out through the adjacent stitch. Gently tighten the yarn tail. Repeat this process to sew the remaining parts below. Finally, weave in the ends. You can also separate the strands of the yarn tail, and tie a knot. As you can see, this is what a completed crab claw attachment looks like. Attach the other one using the same method, paying attention to 2 details during installation. The angles should be symmetrical. I won't demonstrate this part. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for crab legs, which is also shown in a pattern chart. We will work back and forth using the foundation chain method. Watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting technique. Hang the yarn tail on the left hand. Place the crochet hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. There's a loop on the hook now. Pinch the crossing point of the loop with your left hand. With the hook on the left side of the yarn, yarn over and pull the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Tighten the yarn tail. You can also make a slip knot directly, and place it on the hook. Slightly adjust the loop size. Crochet down 10 chain stitches. After completing, work a slip stitch in the second to last chain. Insert the hook into the top strand of the chain to crochet. The slip stitch doesn't need to be tightened. Continue working slip stitches into the adjacent chains. Next, work 2 slip stitches into the adjacent chains. 1, 2. After completing, work 1 slip stitch into each of the 2 adjacent chains. Next, skip 1 chain and leave it unworked. Work a slip stitch into the second chain. This completes one crab stitch. Now work the second crab stitch. First, crochet 6 chains. After completing, work a slip stitch into the second to last chain. First, work 1 slip stitch into each of the 2 adjacent chains. 1, 2. Then work 2 slip stitches into the chains on the left side. Continue working 2 more slip stitches downward. As you can see, there are 2 chains remaining below. Skip 1 chain and work a slip stitch into the first chain. The second crab stitch is completed. Continue to work the third crab stitch. The crocheting method is identical. First, crochet 6 chains. After completing, work 2 consecutive slip stitches starting from the second to last chain. 1, 2. Next, work 2 slip stitches into the adjacent chains on the left side. There are 2 chains remaining inside. Work 1 slip stitch into each chain. Finally, work a slip stitch into the first chain. That is the insertion point of the previous slip stitch. The third crab stitch is completed. Secure with a chain stitch. Stretch the loop. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail and cut off. Tighten, and leave the starting yarn tail for now. This completes one group of crab stitches. Crochet the other group using the same method. I won't demonstrate it here. After completing the crab stitches, attach them to the wrong side of the body. Let's take a look at the finished product. 2 crab stitches are attached to the wrong side of the body, close to the arm edges. Align the top with the 7th to last round, ensuring the left and right crab stitches are symmetrical in angle. Watch me demonstrate the specific installation method. First, secure the 2 crab corners at their corresponding positions using stitch markers. When securing, pay attention to keeping the curves of both crab stitches facing downward and maintaining symmetry. After completing, first sew one of them by threading the reserved yarn tail through the needle. Insert the needle into the corresponding position on the body. Pull through the corresponding stitch below. Pass through the crab stitch edge. Tighten the yarn tail. Continue inserting into the previous insertion point. Pull through the corresponding stitch below. Pass through the crab stitch. Pull tight. Insert again into the previous insertion point. Pull through the stitch below. Pass through the crab stitch. Tighten the yarn tail. Once completed, insert the needle into the previous insertion point on the body. Pull through right next to the starting yarn tail. Add 2 yarn tails and tie a simple knot. Hide it inside the body. This secures one crab corner. Secure the other one in the same way. I won't demonstrate it here. Here's what it looks like with both crab corners secured. Next, sew decorative lines onto the crab corners. Let's take a look at the finished product. Each crab corner has one decoration above and below. There's no strict position requirement, just distribute them roughly evenly. Watch me demonstrate the specific installation method. Cut about 70 centimeters of gold thread, and thread the needle. Sew from the wrong side of the body. Insert the needle right next to one crab corner. Pull out a portion of the yarn tail. Leave about 5 centimeters in length. Next, pick up a loop on the surface of one crab corner. Hide the stitch inside. Come out from above the crab corner. Then wrap the yarn tail around once. Insert into this insertion point. Pick up loops to hide the stitches. Gently tighten the yarn tail. That's one decoration sewn. Next, sew the decoration below. Leave a distance between the upper decoration. Continue to wrap the yarn tail around once. Insert into the previous insertion point. Pick up loops to hide the stitches inside. Gently tighten the yarn tail. The second decoration is sewn. Continue to pick up loops and transition the yarn tail to sew the adjacent crab corner. The method is identical. Repeat this process to sew all the decorative lines corresponding to the crab corners on this side. After finishing this side of crab corners, transition the yarn tail to the other side to continue sewing. Once completed, pull the excess yarn tail through the reserved yarn tail position. Tie several simple knots with the 2 yarn tails. To prevent the yarn tails from coming loose, apply glue to the knotted area. Wait for the glue to dry. Hide the yarn tails inside the body. This completes the decorative lines. Next, make the diving goggles. Let's see the finished product. The diving goggles consist of 2 marbles and decorative lines, approximately in the middle position of the hat. Watch me demonstrate the specific making method. Cut about 30 centimeters of gold thread and thread the needle. Take out the main part. Insert the hook from the right side, near the ear, through the second to last round of stitches. The ear corresponds to this single crochet, come out through the adjacent single crochet. Pull out part of the yarn tail. Leave about 5 centimeters in length. Then insert into the fourth to last round corresponding to the right side single crochet. Count 5 stitches to the right. Come out through the second to last round corresponding to the 5th single crochet. Gently tighten the yarn tail, then go back through the previous insertion point. Tighten the yarn tail. From the right side insertion point, come out through the adjacent single crochet. Continue to insert into the adjacent stitch on the right side. Gently tighten. Take a look at this short segment. It should be around the middle position of the hat. If there's any deviation, adjust it appropriately based on the actual situation. Continue to come out through the adjacent stitch on the right side. Count 5 stitches to the right. Insert into the 4th round from the bottom corresponding to this single crochet. Gently tighten. Then come out through the second round, from the bottom corresponding to the single crochet on the right side. Insert back into the previous insertion point. Tighten the yarn tail. This way, the decorative stitching is done. Weave the yarn tail into the texture on the wrong side. You can separate the strands of the yarn tail. Tie a knot. Tuck it in a bit more. Apply glue to secure it in place. Wait for the glue to dry before putting on the hat. Finally, attach half beads on both sides of the middle line segment of the hat. Apply glue to the back side of the half beads. Attach them to the corresponding position. The diving goggles are done. Next, attach the eyes on top of the horns, and check the adhesive backing behind the eyes before attaching. Remove the backing from the back. To make it more secure, you can apply glue to the wrong side. Attach it to the single crochet position on the horns. Once completed, attach a star decoration in the middle of the body. Align it with the top and the edge of the body. Next, attach the patch to the body, placing it on the right side of the body, with the bottom around the 9th round. This secures the eyes, star, decorations, and patch in place. Our kit also includes a keyring. After all accessories are attached, install it according to your preference. I'll demonstrate the keyring installation method using one main part. Attach the keyring to the middle position of the 5th or 6th round of the hat, or adjust the position as needed, marking the corresponding position with a stitch. Take a yarn tail about 30 centimeters long and thread it through the yarn needle. Pull the needle through the corresponding position. Pull out a portion of the yarn tail. Leave about 5 centimeters in length. Thread it through the keyring's buttonhole. Insert into the adjacent stitch. Come out through the stitch on the opposite side. Tighten the yarn tail. Pass through the buttonhole. Come out from the corresponding position on the hat. Pull tight. Sew a few more stitches downward to secure. Finally, tie a few simple knots with the reserved yarn tail. Hook the yarn tail into the inside of the hat to hide it. You can also slightly gather it along the texture of the hat surface. This completes the keyring attachment, and the crochet method for this Zodiac toy is finished. If you have any unclear points during the crocheting process, contact our Facebook group. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, shares the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you later.